It's 2 a.m., you're staring at Slack, the client wants one small change, your hands are shaking, but not from coffee, from rage that you can't express because you need this $3,000 to make the rent. This is the fourth revision on the project. It was delivered 3 weeks ago. Well, that was me 18 months ago. Listen, the fastest way to kill your AI agency is to take on too much, too fast, for too little money. I've watched dozens of agency owners burn themselves out chasing complexity when the real money really lives in simplicity, right? So here's how I scaled without breaking, using lean delivery, strong scope control, and systems that don't drain my soul. And if you're stuck in the endless revision loops or wondering why your margins are shrinking, you'll want to stay till the end because the last insight completely changed how I quote projects. Most AI agency owners think growth means more tools, like bigger teams or complex workflows. Like, what if I told you the opposite was true? The agencies that scale aren't the ones doing the most. They're the ones protecting their time with surgical precision. And guys, listen, seriously, I learnt this the hard way. I learnt this harder than anybody else. I was the guy that said yes to everything. I was the guy that said yes to custom features, quick tweaks, quick additions, that turned into full rebuilds effectively. And here's what nobody tells you. Every time you say yes without boundaries, you're actually building yourself a prison. Like, you're boxing yourself in. So how do we stop it from happening? Let me show you the 3 shifts that turn my agency from chaotic to cash flowing, right? Let's start with the biggest mistake I see. The one that nearly destroyed my business before I even understood what was happening. So you woke up in the morning, you saw the message and you thought, you know what, I'm feeling nice today. I'm going to make that one additional revision that they wanted. And now it's on version 17 and it's 2 weeks later. Here's the truth about scope creep. It doesn't start with bad clients. It starts with unclear offers. It's not actually their fault. When I first launched, I'd pitch AI automation solutions. Sounds impressive, but here's the problem. The phrase means nothing. To the client, it means unlimited possibilities. It means that you're available to fix any AI problem that they've got. But to you, what actually happens is it means unlimited work. And here's the difference between a flexible and fuzzy scope, right? The flexible and fuzzy scope have nuances between them, right? It changed everything for me once I understood it. A flexible scope means that you can adapt within clear boundaries. You've defined deliverables, right? The timeline, what's included. If something changes outside of that, you know exactly how to price it. You can be fair, but you know exactly how to price it. A fuzzy scope is when you say, we'll figure it out as we go. That's not agile. That's not making you some sort of professional that is confident. That's completely amateur. And it leads to one place, and that's resentment on both sides of the coin. So it's no good me telling you all of this without telling you how I fixed it. Every project now starts with a 1-page scope document. 1 page. It has exactly 3 things in a list. What you are building, what success looks like, and what's explicitly not included. That third point is everything, because when the client asks for that extra feature halfway through, you don't argue. There's no arguments from either side. You just point to the original agreement and say, happy to add that as a phase 2. Here's what that looks like. There's no guilt. There's no confusion. Just clarity. And listen, this is probably going to piss some people off, but if a client pushes back on your scope document, that's not a negotiation. That's a complete red flag. You should fire them before they try and hire you. The best clients want boundaries. They respect clarity. They're professionals. The ones who don't, they're shopping for someone desperate enough to say yes to everything, to take on everything that they need. You're not that person anymore. And hey, if that helps you out, if that resonated with you and you're tired of playing small, like you're fed up of it, hit the like button, because it tells YouTube to show this to more agency owners and entrepreneurs who need to hear it. And think of it like a breadcrumb that you're leaving to your past self if it was you 6 months ago. So now back at it, and you'll notice something shift in your conversations when you start doing this, right? Clients respect boundaries when you communicate them with confidence. When you are confident and you communicate in that way, clients reciprocate it. If you've ever delivered one last revision for free, type guilty in the comments. I want to see how many of us have been there. I have. I'm going to type it down there. But scope control only works if your systems can actually deliver without drowning you in complexity. Let's talk about how you build that. More tools equals more problems. Simplify to scale. Guys, listen, I've been there too, right? I have been there. I used to think that being a great agency meant knowing every tool and being able to solve every problem. Make, Zapier, N8N, Airtable, Notion, ClickUp, all of these individual tools. I had accounts everywhere. And you know what happened? I spent more time managing my stack than delivering value. Here's what I realized. Your tech stack should be invisible to your workflow. not the center of it. So now, for example, for my speed to lead systems, I run everything through 3 core platforms. I use N8N for automation workflows. I use Go High Level as the CRM. And I use Closebot as what I use to build the flows out. That's it. 3 tools. Everything else is noise. Think of your tech stack like a kitchen, right? A Michelin star chef does not need 40 gadgets. They need a great knife, a solid pan, and perfect technique. You're not impressing anyone with your tool collection. These aren't Pokemon cards, mate. You're just spending more time sharpening gadgets than cooking the meals. So why does this matter so much? Why is this so important? Because every additional tool is a dependency, a point of failure, another login, another subscription, another integration that breaks when they update their APIs. I've seen this pattern play out dozens of times. The agencies juggling 10 plus tools, 20 plus tools, they're stuck in 4 to 6 week delivery cycles, margins hovering around 20 to 30%, let's say. The ones that are running lean, like me, with 3 core tools and a system I can just pump out consistently, they're delivering in under 2 weeks margins north of 60%. Same client, same solution, different systems. Fewer dependencies means faster fixes, and faster fixes means you're not losing sleep when something goes wrong at midnight. Be honest with yourself. How many unused tool subscriptions are you paying for right now? Right. If you're still here, you're not a hobbyist. You're serious about this. So I'm going to tell you something that most YouTube gurus won't. If your offer doesn't make margin in a week, it is broken. Let me hit you with something. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable. You're probably undercharging. Not because your work isn't valuable, but because you're pricing based on complexity instead of value. Here's the shift. Stop asking, how long is this going to take me? And start asking, what does this unlock for the client? If your automation saves them 20 hours a week, you're not charging for your 8 hours of setup time. You're charging for the recurring value that you've just created for that client. I used to price projects at $3,000 because that felt fair for the work involved. Now I price the same deliverable at tens of thousands of dollars because I finally understood what the client was actually buying. They are not buying your time. They are buying their own time back, and that is invaluable to them. So do you want to know who benefits from you undercharging? SaaS companies, course creators, the ecosystem that profits from your confusion. They sell you the tool, then the course to use the tool, then the community to troubleshoot the tool, then the coaching to implement the course taught. Meanwhile, you're charging $3,000 for projects that should have been $15,000. I'm done with that game. And after this video, you will be too. So how does my sales and pricing framework work now? Well, it's in the discovery phase, which is phase 1. I either do it for free if it's a smaller project or a mid-sized project, or I charge a fixed fee that's non-refundable to get rid of tire kickers for large projects that make you do loads of scoping and end up just walking away. Phase 2, I build, priced on value, right? Value delivered. Not hours logged, not how long it's going to take me. If it takes you 10 hours or 40, the client doesn't care. And if they do care, it's nothing to do with them. They care about the outcome, the solution that you offer. Phase 3, optimization. Recurring retainer for maintenance, iteration and support. This is where your margins get really healthy because you can then start to quote and have MRR. Here's what it looks like in practice. I had a client, a recruitment agency, was drowning in manual data entry. I quoted them $12,000 for an Airtable and Make.com automation. Wasn't quite that simple, but was almost that simple. Old me would have probably charged about $3,000 for that and felt guilty. 3 months later, they told me that they've saved 60 hours a month. That's $18,000 in labour costs annually for them. My $12,000 was a bargain, and I delivered it in 11 days. That's what margin-led pricing looks like. Do you notice what's missing from this framework? Hourly rates, revisions sold separately, scope creep. When you price like this, you protect your time, your sanity, you stop trading hours for dollars, and you start building a business that can actually scale. And here's the beautiful part, here's the best part about it. When you combine lean delivery with margin-led pricing, you're not just profitable, you're free. Drop your current project price in the comments, and if you're charging under $5,000 for automation work, I'm going to tell you the truth. You're training clients to undervalue what you do. Is it controversial? Maybe, But someone's got to say it. Here's the shift that nobody talks about. You're not building an agency, you're building a decision filter, right? Bad clients reveal themselves immediately if you watch closely. Bad tools show their cost fast. Bad pricing makes you resentful. Your business should feel like a bouncer at a club, not a door-to-door salesman, right? That's probably the best way I could put it. Every client, every tool, every revision request, it's all a test of whether you've set up the right systems to protect your freedom. Lean isn't about doing less work, it's about doing the right work for the right people for the right price. And once you understand that, you stop burning out. Burning out isn't a thing anymore. Now you understand why most AI agencies burn out, and more importantly, how to avoid it. You've learned how to kill scope creep with surgical clarity. You've seen why a lean tech stack beats a bloated one every single time. And you've discovered how to price based on value, not hours. You're not just a service provider anymore, you're a strategist who understands leverage. Remember that 2 a.m. Slack message, that midnight Slack message that I told you about at the beginning? That doesn't happen anymore. Not because I got lucky, because I built a system that protected my boundaries of who I am and what I can offer. So here's where you're at. You can keep juggling tools, saying yes to scope creep and wondering why your agency feels like a second job that you hate, or you can draw a line in the sand today. In my next video, I'm going to show you the exact sales script that I use to close 10k plus clients without sounding desperate, because lean delivery only works if you can sell it with confidence. If you're ready to stop being the cheapest option in the room, that's the video that you need to watch next. I'll see you there, or I won't. It's your move.